Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. We are talking about quarterback breakouts for 2020 fantasy football. Guys that you can get as a backup quarterback with a ton of upside. Let's get to the show.
Hey, it's Josh Jacobs, and you're listening to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
Welcome to the show, guys. We are talking about fantasy football quarterback breakouts for 2020. Give you a list of guys here that could potentially break out, that you can get later in your draft, that could finish really, really high in the rankings. Why not target these guys as backup quarterbacks? And that is a rule I always give everybody when they are doing their fantasy football draft. Anchor yourself with an ace quarterback earlier on, like not too early, you don't want to overpay, and then back yourself up with a quarterback. Always have a backup plan for a backup plan. Always get a backup quarterback, meaning one quarterback league, get two quarterbacks. Two quarterback league, get three quarterbacks, okay? You always want a good backup. I did it years ago. I had Matt Ryan as my starter, and I had Pat Mahomes as a backup. Believe it or not, that's the year I got Mahomes in like the 9th, 10th round. And I was telling you guys to get Pat Mahomes in the 9th, 10th round in my 16-round draft solution. So, guys, get the 16-round draft solution. It's going to help you guys crush your leagues at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com or a link below, okay? And smash a thumbs up, okay? And leave a comment. I want to interact. I want to hear your feedback. I want to know if you guys would consider these guys as a solid backup that could break out. All right, let's get to the first guy here. I absolutely love him, without a doubt. Daniel Jones finished 24th last year amongst quarterbacks in 13 games, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, just over 3,000 yards. Nothing to get excited about. But listen, this guy didn't have an O-line. Barkley was hurt. He had no wide receivers. Give the guy a break. And he still managed to finish 24th. I mean, shame on the other quarterbacks that couldn't finish ahead of him. Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy had a crippled team. He didn't even have a team. So listen, Daniel Jones is a solid backup quarterback that you can get late, that could potentially give you solid fantasy football numbers week in, week out. Period. End of discussion. There's a ton of upside there, okay? I'm going to be really interested to see what the Giants do in their draft. Are they going to improve the O-line? Are they going to get a wide receiver? It's going to be interesting. But Daniel Jones could have some more toys to play with for 2020 fantasy football, and that's why it makes him a breakout. Daniel Jones, as again, no particular order, is the first breakout here. Next guy I like, this is a bit of a risk. Roll the dice. It's a risk. Not too excited. Now, he's been playing since 2014, but hasn't been starting since 2014. Teddy Bridgewater. Now, should be getting the start in Carolina. They've added Robbie Anderson. They've got DJ Moore. You know, I'm not too excited, but they've got Christian McCaffrey to keep the defenses distracted. Listen, Bridgewater looked okay in the 9 games he played with the Saints. 1,384 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Listen, I don't know how it's going to end up. He had 4 touchdowns in week 5, I believe it was. It was a 4-touchdown game. So he's got that upside. You know, is that going to translate over to the Carolina offense? Who knows? But all I'm telling you is if you are in a 2-quarterback league and you need a backup, or you need a backup for a backup, you can get Bridgewater. I mean, you can get him for a value probably, because he's probably off everybody's radar. And he's out to make a statement, guys. He's got the opportunity. Again, been in the league for quite some time, but hasn't really gotten going, okay? So I do like him. Now, in 2015, he had a 3,000-yard season, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So he hasn't really exceeded the 14-touchdown range, but he is now, if he gets a start and he gets the attempts, he gets the volume, and he's integrated in a system that's, you know, working around him, and he's got the solid running back at Christian McCaffrey, could be some upside, okay? Could break out. Next guy here, I like here a little bit more upside. They've got probably a really high-octane offense coming up, and that is the Denver Broncos. They've added Melvin Gordon. It's going to be a bit of a committee, but we're not talking running backs right now. We're talking about Drew Lock. Now, Drew Lock played 5 games, won most of them, okay? 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. There is talent there. We haven't seen the upside yet, but there is a ton of upside and a ton of ceiling. And he's got Cortland Sutton as a receiver, Melvin Gordon there as a running back. It's going to be interesting. And I already heard they may be trying to draft a top wide receiver in the NFL draft. This was recorded pre-NFL draft. So Drew Lock has a ton of upside as a backup. So keep him on your radar, guys. This guy could be the franchise and the face of the Denver Broncos. Keep him on your radar. Again, Cortland Sutton's a beast in the red zone. Keep your eye out. Next guy I got here, and to wrap this up, And there's actually two guys. One, I'll just get to the guy I don't really like, but Baker Mayfield could be due for a breakout, but I don't trust him, so I'm not going to talk too much about him because I'm not going to draft him. Heck no. But the next guy I want to talk about is a backup, because I think people will still pay high for Baker. I'm not going to do it. This guy finished 19th last year amongst quarterbacks, and 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Maybe he's in the groove, but I know the Jacksonville Jaguars believe in him. Gardner Minshew's the guy. Listen, I'm not sold on the Minshew yet. If you guys are, congratulations. But it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think there's a high ceiling for him. He is a guy that could break out, but only consider him as a backup. But he is a guy I had to mention because he could actually do really well. I think the receiving situation needs some improvement. He's got Fournette there, keep the defenses on their toes. But again, there could be a ceiling for this guy. Could really break out and have a good year. Gardner Minshew as a backup. Okay? All right, that wraps it up, guys. Those are your breakout quarterbacks for 2020 fantasy football. If I were to pick the guy I like the most out of here, it's definitely going to be Daniel Jones, but you're going to pay more for Daniel Jones. He's going to come off the board a little earlier than the other guys, so be cautious there. Smash thumbs up, leave a comment below. Who do you like the most? Is it Daniel Jones as well? Curious to hear your thoughts. And of course, subscribe to the #1 fantasy football podcast right here. And I will see you guys in the next video.